Creationism. Creationism, a religious belief, asserts that the origins of the universe, Earth, life, nature, and humans stem from supernatural acts of divine creation. While commonly associated with Christianity, creationism finds interpretations across various religions such as Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, and others. A central disagreement among creationists lies in whether it aligns with or opposes scientific explanations like evolution. Young Earth creationism, popularized since the 1970s within Christian circles, asserts a literal interpretation of the Book of Genesis, suggesting a 10,000-year-old Earth. In contrast, Old Earth creationism suggests a figurative interpretation of Genesis, accepting scientific dating placing the Earth and universe much older. As of 2006, many Christians worldwide accept evolution as a likely explanation for species origins, finding no conflict between it and their faith. However, certain denominations like evangelical Protestants and Mormons predominantly reject evolution. In Islam, creationism diverges from the Christian view, viewing the Quran's creation narratives as distinct from Genesis and allowing a broader range of interpretations. The age of the Earth and the concept of evolution are less contentious topics in Islam, with varying opinions on human evolution. Hindu creationism posits a cyclical view of existence, where species represent material forms adopted by pure consciousness, aligning with an old Earth perspective. These beliefs draw from a rich tradition of Hindu religious texts, suggesting an ancient origin for humanity, as per historian Ronald Numbers. Catastrophism. The evolutionary concept known as catastrophism, introduced in the early 19th century by George Keir, marked a significant departure from the prevailing notion of Earth's stability. Prior to this, the prevailing belief held that Earth's surface features, organisms, and species remained relatively unchanged over vast periods. Essentially, it suggested a static state for Earth, where significant upheavals were rare or non-existent. Catastrophism, however, presented a contrasting view by examining fossil evidence. It argued that Earth's history was profoundly shaped by sudden and traumatic events such as floods, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. These cataclysms are believed to have caused widespread devastation among life forms, leading to the extinction of numerous species. Unlike the concept of evolution as gradual species transformation over time, catastrophism advocated for successive creations. This notion proposed that catastrophic events gave rise to entirely new species, which adapted to the altered environment. Observations of distinct fossilized remains in different geological layers supported this idea of sequential natural periods. While modern scientific explanations have largely supplanted many aspects of catastrophism, its contributions were pivotal in refining our understanding of Earth's dynamic history. It prompted a reassessment of the role of catastrophic events in shaping life on our planet, enriching the discourse on Earth's geological process and the evolution of species. Lamarckism. Lamarckism, although not currently embraced, stands as an integral theory to broach the concept of evolution. Also recognized as a theory of transformation or inheritance, it posits that an organism can transmit physical traits acquired during its lifetime to its offspring. To simplify, Lamarck suggested three key principles. First, the organisms could develop new characteristics through interactions with their environment. Secondly, these acquired traits could be heritably passed down to subsequent generations, facilitating evolutionary change. Thirdly, Lamarck envisioned a natural progression towards complexity and perfection in organisms over time, proposing that simpler life forms would gradually evolve into more advanced iterations. Unlike contemporary ideas, Lamarckism did not underscore mass extinctions, but rather advocated for a continuous and gradual process of transformation. It posited that organisms could adapt to changing environments through the inheritance of acquired traits, minimizing the occurrence of extinction events. Though often contrasted with Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection, Darwin himself acknowledged the notion of heritable effects of use and disuse, akin to Lamarck's proposition. While Lamarckism has been eclipsed by modern evolutionary theory, attempts to substantiate Lamarckian inheritance have been made since the 1860s. However, these endeavors have largely been debunked, attributed to alternative mechanisms such as genetic contamination or fraudulent claims. Darwinism. Now on to Darwinism, the concept that all organism species emerge and evolve through a process of natural selection, favoring small, inherited variations that enhance an individual's ability to compete, survive, and reproduce. While Lamarckism marked the initial foray into evolutionary theory, modern genetic understanding refutes it, as we now recognize that acquired traits like muscle growth are not inheritable. Darwinism, however, posits that only traits encoded within genes are heritable, and evolution hinges not on environmental influences, but on genetic variability. Despite a negative connotation associated with mutations, Darwinism asserts that they drive evolution by generating genetic diversity. Within this diversity, natural selection operates, where the environment favors the survival and reproduction of organisms, with advantageous variations perpetuating those traits to subsequent generations. Conversely, individuals with disadvantageous traits are less likely to survive and reproduce. This ongoing struggle for survival results in a continuous, gradual transformation of species over time. During Charles Darwin's expedition aboard the HMS Beagle spanning 5 years, he amassed observations and data supporting his theory, which culminated in his seminal work, On the Origin of Species. It is worth noting that Darwinism was not solely Darwin's creation. Other scientists independently arrived at similar conclusions and contributed to his research. Upon its publication in 1859, Darwinism faced a spectrum of reactions. Religious thinkers in particular grappled with its implications, fearing a clash with their beliefs. Within the scientific community, Darwinism sparked interest and controversy, taking several decades to gain widespread acceptance through further study and evidence accumulation. Neo-Darwinism. Neo-Darwinism, the contemporary theory of evolution, synthesizes insights from various biological disciplines to refine and expand upon Darwin's original ideas. It rejects Lamarckism's notion of acquired traits being inherited and instead underscores the genetic variability arises predominantly from mutations and genetic recombination during reproduction. These genetic variations form the raw material upon which natural selection acts, favoring advantageous traits that enhance an organism's fitness for survival and reproduction. At its core, Neo-Darwinism emphasizes that evolution occurs at the population level over extended periods. Natural selection, acting on genetic variability, drives changes in allele frequencies within populations, ultimately leading to the emergence of new species or adaptations within existing species. By integrating modern genetic knowledge with Darwin's foundational concepts, Neo-Darwinism provides a robust framework for understanding the mechanism underlying evolutionary change and the diversification of life on Earth.